Hello and welcome to the second session of the Speedy Tax Sales Agent Training. My name is Darvin Thomas and I am the CEO of Speedy Tax Service located at 405 East Locust in Bloomington, Illinois. I wanted to speak to you guys about being a sales agent, how to be a successful sales agent. And you guys went through the first session. This is the second session. In the second session, we're going to talk about the entire process of how a customer submits their information, how we receive it, prepare it, get them a copy of the information in their email, as well as submit it to the IRS and to the point where the customer receives their refund. So we're going to take you in a complete circle of the entire process. I'm also going to talk to you about how the company is set up and the positions that's available. Now, if you haven't attended the first session, please go back to the first session and complete that first before completing this session. In the first session, we talk about the history of Speedy Tax Service, when we started, where, how we provide services, what type of services we provide, our target audience. I also speak to you in regard to what we're expecting from you as an independent sales agent and what you can expect from us as a company. I'll talk to you about how often you're getting paid, how much you're getting paid, and the benefits of being an independent sales agent for the company. So please, if you haven't completed the first session, please go back and do that and then return to this session. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first of all, Speedy Tax Service is made up of four positions. At first, I started off preparing all the taxes. I would answer the phones, I would take the people's information, I would prepare the taxes, I would submit it to the IRS, make sure they receive their refunds, the entire thing, okay? And then as I continued to grow, of course I would get overwhelmed, so I hired administrators. Then the administrators would take all the information and all I would do is basically prepare the taxes and talk with the customers. Now I'm trying to do things differently. I'm not trying to set things up like H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt or Liberty Tax, these other companies. But if you remember in the first session, I talked to you about having a heart for the people, relationship building, and incorporating technology and innovation. I believe that those are recipes for success. And so I've allowed that to be my baseline or my foundation to my company. Alright? So with that being said, what I did is that I started hiring independent sales agents like yourself. Okay? Then I have administrators. Then I have licensed tax professionals. And then last but not least, auditors. Okay? So I have four positions that's incorporated within this company. What does a sales agent do? A sales agent, basically all you guys do is you go out and refer your friends and family. You refer your friends and family to get their taxes prepared. And by doing that, we pay you. You basically earn $1,000 for referring 3 people, $5,000. $1,000 for 3 people, $2,000 if you refer 5 people, $3,000 if you refer 7 people, and basically $5,000 if you refer 10 people, and it continue to go up from there. Also, every time those people return every year as a sales agent, you receive payment for them every time they return, so it's a residual income as well. So that's the sales agent position. Basically, you basically earn between $5,000 to $10,000 during tax season, really within 8 weeks. Alright. Then you have the administrative position. The administrative position is they intake all of the information. They intake the information from the customers. They make sure it's set up in the system, it's filed systematically. They make sure they set the appointments for the tax professionals. They make sure they communicate effectively with the customers, the tax professionals, and the IRS. So they are our communication gap. They bridge the gap between the tax professionals, the customers, and the IRS. They make sure that there's no lapse, there's no breakdown communication-wise. They also make sure everything is electronically filed and put aside for any type of auditing, or any type of, if the customer wants a copy of the paperwork years down the road, I know that the administrative have effectively filed it correctly. Okay. Now, and also keep in mind, we are paperless, so everything is filed electronically and set aside on a secure database. So that's the administrative position, and administrators normally make in between $25,000 to $30,000 during tax season. Then we also have what you call the licensed tax professional. Now, this licensed tax professional, they have attended our training sessions. We have a summer training session and a winter training session that lasts for about 12 weeks. They attend it, they complete it, they pass the test, and they come on board. As a tax professional, they work from home, or either they can work in the office. Their job is to prepare taxes. Their job is to make sure that the customer is receiving all the credits that they're supposed to. They're receiving all of the deductions that they're supposed to, and they're making sure that they receive an accurate tax return, a good refund, or an accurate refund. Okay, that's what our tax professionals do, and they earn basically in between 60 to 80,000 during that 8 to 10 weeks. Well, I'm gonna say about 10-week tax season. Okay. Now, then we have auditors. The auditor's job is to make sure that the taxes are prepared correctly before they submit it to the IRS. The auditor's job is not only to make sure that they're prepared correctly, but they're also, if they're not, their job is to communicate that to the tax professional to make sure that they know any errors or any breakdowns or anything that they could have found, or increase the income or increase the refund with, or to make sure that their refund is more accurate. Okay, their job is also to stand in the gap between the customer and the IRS. So therefore, say a customer of ours is randomly selected by the IRS to be audited, where our auditor will actually stand in the gap and speak to the IRS on behalf of our customers, okay, to assure that there's no breakdowns or there's no interruptions with that person's refund or receiving that refund. Okay, so that's the auditor's job, and the auditors normally earn in between $100,000 to $120,000 during the tax season. All right, so with you being a part of the team and a part of Speedy Tax Service, these positions are available for you to apply for every year. You can choose to continue to come back as an independent sales agent, or you can choose to apply for any of those positions. Of course, an auditor position, you will have to actually be a tax professional before you can be an auditor. But you can choose to apply for an administrative position, and you can choose to be a tax professional. Okay? Keep in mind, you can live anywhere in the United States and be a tax professional. The way our system is set up, you can attend our classes are online through a live webinar. So you can attend the 12-week class and complete it. Then you can turn around and give us your work schedule, and you can work any hours that you choose. Okay, so these positions are available to you. Now, that's the structure of Speedy Tax Service. Now, what do we do, or how do we service our clients and our customers? First of all, we make sure that you as a sales agent receive what you call a database. A database is completely secured. In this database, it's set up like a spreadsheet. So if you refer someone, you actually put their name and their number in there. Okay? You save it. The only people that can see that database is you, myself, and the administrator. Alright? That's very important. I'm going to come back to that. Come back to this. Number one, it's important that you put their name and number in that database, is because we want to make sure that you receive credit and payment for that person. So say you put John's name in there and his number, and John come and we ask him who referred you, and they say, he says, I can't remember. Well, the minute we start putting this information in the system, your name will pop up. So immediately we'll be able to see, okay, here's the sales agent that referred this person, and you'll receive credit and payment for that person. Alright, so the next step, once you have entered that person's information in, at the same time or whenever the customer chooses to, they will contact our administrator through the 1-800 number. It's a toll-free number. The administrator will at that point set an appointment up if the customer chooses to, or if the customer chooses to go ahead and submit their information to our secure database, they can do it right there. They can talk to the administrator, and the administrator will direct them on how to submit it. They can either do it by phone. If they have an iPhone, they can take a picture and submit it, or an Android phone, or an iPad, or any one of those gadgets. Or they can submit it electronically through email, or either they can fax the information, but it's completely secured to our database. Once our administrator receives it, they will let the customer know that, hey, we received it. Then at that point, the administrator will pull up the database, your database, and let you know that we received your referrals information. The information is then submitted to the tax professional. The tax professional will pull it up, contact the customer, and let them know that, hey, I have your information and we're getting started on preparing your taxes. The customer can either stay on the phone, or if they are in the office, they'll be sitting down with the tax professional, and the tax professional will proceed with preparing the taxes. Once the customer is satisfied with the refund amount, the customer at that point will electronically sign the documents. If they are in front of the tax professional, they can do it right over the computer. If the customer is not in front of the tax professional, we can do it right over the phone. So it's an electronic signature. Okay. At that point, the tax professional will pass it on to the auditor, and the customer will receive the paperwork in their email for their records. At that point, the auditor will view everything, look it over, and make sure that the customer received a good refund amount and everything was accurate. The auditor will then submit it to the IRS, and the IRS will approve it within 2 to 3 hours. Once it's approved, the customer will receive a text or email stating that the IRS approved it and their expected refund date. Now, the customer will have a choice to either receive direct deposit or a check in the form of their refund. If they choose to have it directly deposited, what will happen at that point, within 7 to 10 days, the IRS will release the refund. When the refund is released, they will receive their direct deposit. We will receive payment for preparing their taxes from the IRS. you will receive your payment directly deposited into your account. So you should receive your payment on a weekly basis. Alright. Now, let's go back to your database. In your database, you will see, you will enter that person's name, John, and that phone number. Then you may pull it up and notice that we've had an intake. We have their information. Then you'll pull it up and you'll be able to see where their refund was approved or their taxes was approved. And then you will also see in that database your expected date of pay, or your expected day of deposit. Okay, and every time you pull it up, you'll be able to see. Because keep in mind, based off the information that I talked to you about in the first session, if you refer 5 people, it's going to wind up producing 10 people. Those 10 people are going to produce 20 people. Those 20 people are going to produce 40 people. So in your database, you may have went in and typed in 5 people that you referred. But then the following week, you might pull up that database, or later on in that week, you might pull up that database, and you'll notice that we've added people to your database. That's because the people that you referred is referring people. And every time they refer people, you're getting paid for those people. And so therefore the administrator is continuously adding people to your database. Not only adding people to your database, but you'll also see when it's been approved and your date of deposit that you'll receive your payment. Okay? So that's the entire flow of things. And keep in mind, although I'm speaking to you about this flow, or this flow chart, or this process, you're going to receive a copy of this database into your email. Alright? So, in your email, you're going to receive a flow chart. It's going to be a complete circle from point A to point B to point C to point D. Alright? It's going to be the sales agent. It's going to be the customer to the sales agent to the administrator to the tax professional to the auditor to the IRS, and the IRS releases the refund to the customer. So it's a complete circle, and you're going to receive this information in your email. You're also going to receive this database that I'm talking to you about, this secure database, where you will enter the people's names and numbers that you referred. Alright? So, everything that I'm talking to you about, as soon as you've completed this course, just make me aware of it. I need you to send me an email or a text. My number is 309 area code 242-6165. And you can email me, darvin@speedytaxes.net. Or if you're a Facebook friend, you can also message me on Facebook. Alright. Now, let's talk a little bit more about this process, because I want to make sure that you have this entire process down. So when you do speak to your referral, you'll be able to let them know exactly how everything is going to flow. Alright, number 1, I want you to refer your friends and family. Again, because it's based off relationships. Alright, if I have a relationship with you and you have a relationship with them, I believe that's a recipe for success for all 3 parties. Alright, once you refer them, you will enter their information in your secure database. The administrator will see it. The customer will, at that point, will contact the administrator, or even the administrator can contact the customer, because we have their information now, or their number. Alright? At that point, the customer will say, yes, I would like to have you guys prepare my taxes. The administrator will either set an appointment for them, or depending on what their situation, they might be at work, we will have them submit the information securely to our database. Alright, Once we have that information, the information will then be sent on to the tax professional. The tax professional will then contact the customer and prepare their taxes. Once the customer is happy with the refund amount, they'll receive a copy of an electronically signed document in their email address. So they'll have their tax documents in their email address. The paperwork or the documents will be sent off to the auditors. The auditors will take a look at it, approve it, submit it to the IRS. The IRS at that point will review it, approve it within 2 to 3 hours. We will contact or notify the customer through email or text, letting them know that it's been approved and their expected refund date. Within 7 to 10 days, that customer will receive their refund, either directly deposited or by check. Alright? Then you will receive your payment, either directly deposited or by check. Okay? And you can pull up your database anytime during the day, anytime during the week, how often you choose, and you'll be able to see all of your referrals and all of the people and all of the dates or your expected payment dates. Alright? That's the entire process that we take our customers through, and that's the entire process of you receiving your payment as well. So that's the conclusion of this training. Please notify me, let me know that you've completed it so I can submit the database to you. I'm looking forward to a very successful season, and if you have any questions, concerns, please let me know. And if you know anyone that would like to join us as a team, as a company, let me know that as well, and we can bring them on board. Oh, let me mention this. The people that paid their $25 will receive their marketing material by December 1st. Okay? If you haven't paid your $25, that does not disqualify you from being the sales agent. You can I still want you to work and be a part of the team. But unfortunately, we cannot give you the marketing material without the $25 payment. The marketing material that I'm talking about are business cards, flyers, as well as commercials that you can post on your Facebook page. Okay? So if you haven't paid it, that's fine. If you would like to pay it, please email me and contact me. I gave you my information, and let me know, and I'll send you the information on where you can pay it. All right? If you've already paid it, don't worry about it. We have your information, and you'll be receiving your marketing material by December 1st. All right? Thank you. God bless you, and I'm looking forward to moving forward and have a very successful tax season.